call your friends, call your loved ones, check up on them every single day.
Yeah.
I remember it was the other night, you know what I'm saying? I sent text messages to everybody saying I love them or how much I appreciate them.
Yo, welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Tony.
I'm King
And
K.
this is Down2Talk.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all again so much for tuning in each and every week with us. Here on this channel, Down2Talk, what we like to do is pretty much just get the conversation going and talk about things that people are afraid to talk about.
Not only talk, but only do. We also have live performances, art shows, and we even had a cooking show on the show.
Right. So if you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel because we have content just like this every single week. Getting into this week's episode, we're going to be pretty much just talking about death. You know, it's that time of the year where nature, I already know, so don't give me those looks. But even nature has that cycle where at the end of the cycle, it has to repeat. So just like us, it's time for that cycle. And I think it's a really good time for us to touch on this topic.
Facts. And my meaning of death is, we born, we live, and we die.
Right.
So getting right to it, what can you learn from death?
There's a lot that you can learn from death, and but it's just in some ancient cultures I know in particular they have a focus on it, and the reason why they do is because it reminds them that each and every single one of us die. There's an end to each and every single one of our cycles, and that's kind of like a motivation, if not inspiration, to keep you going and to do things while we're still here and while we still can. And for me, I just feel like personally that's like one of the biggest lessons that we can learn. But for you though, what do you think is soul and how does it relate to death?
For me, I think the soul is a precious thing. I'm gonna take it, more of the spiritual side. We all have a soul, and God give us that soul so we can live. And I feel like when we die, that soul either goes to one place or another. That's what I believe in. That's what I was brought up in. But for me, the soul, the only thing the soul has in common with death is the body. So that's the only thing that's on this earth is the soul and the body. And in order for that soul to live, it have to have a body.
Right.
But that body dies. The body get old, the body gets sick.
Right.
So, and that's the only thing that a soul has in common.
Right.
With death is the body. So for you, what do you think happens after death?
Well, kind of piggybacking off of what you said about, a soul and a body having death in common, especially in a lot of ancient cultures, they talk about the different alternatives of what they believe happened afterwards. And I think it kind of lines up the same with, kind of how you explained it. Like after death, either you reincarnate, your soul reincarnates, wherever that may be, whenever that might be. On the opposite side of the spectrum, it could be a black void where there's absolutely nothing after death. And I think the last alternative is possibly reincarnating or not being able to reincarnate, but your soul still kind of being somewhere around Earth, for a lack of a better explanation. So as far as like the options go, I think those are probably the more popular alternatives to what happens. But to end it off, what do you think is going to matter most to you on your deathbed?
That's a good question. I have two answers to that question. I have a Down2Talk answer, and I have a me answer.
All right.
So I'll start with the first one. For the guests and all the followers, what matters most to me is, having an impact, for our fans and all the guests that come on, just knowing that we had an impact in their lives and they have an impact on ours from them coming, showing their talents and, sharing their testimonies with us. that's not easy for somebody to do. Come in here and spill their beans, spill their life testimonies to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just knowing that they feel comfortable to come to us and that matter, I feel like that matters to me on my deathbed, knowing that I've impacted somebody's lives. But for myself, what matters to me, just knowing that my family knows that I took a negative part of my life and I changed it to a positive, where I could have waddled in my mess. I could have made more mistakes, but I said no. I said, you know what? I'm gonna change this negative. I'm gonna change this bad era of my life, and I'm gonna make it to a positive.
Right.
And I feel like on my deathbed, knowing that my family know that I had changed my negative into a positive, all the things that I've been through, and you guys knew what I've been through, and I changed to a positive, and it was only the help of God, and that will matters the most to me on my deathbed.
Dang, bro, you got deep on you, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But I feel you though, man. Like that's facts for sure, man. But I'm glad we were able to sit down and have this talk about it, because again, I don't think it gets talked about enough, and it's important because it gives you that motivation and that inspiration on a daily basis to be thankful for the people that you have in your life and the things that you have. And again, I just feel like it's important.
No, facts. And not only that, people don't take death seriously. When somebody say, oh, so-and-so died, they be like, oh, okay, and they go about their day. But when somebody hit their phone, oh, uncle this died, uncle that died, they hurt. Now they at home listening to Janae Aiko 10,000 hours. So,
Right.
I mean, like, people really just, take life seriously and, don't take people for granted. Like, it's people come and go. They only here for a moment.
Yeah, I feel that, man. Like that's the best way to explain it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that pretty much wraps up this episode, man. Thank y'all again so much for tuning in. Catch us next week or the week after. This is
Down to Talk.